The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Happy New Year! My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this New Year's Eve 2024, the last stream of the year. I think we did 165 or something like that. That's kind of scary. So today we are doing a what-if game by request. We are playing just a random game between a World Series that never happened between the Atlanta Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers, which is kind of interesting since both teams have roots in Milwaukee. From 1982, the Braves, if you remember, were the National League West champions. And, of course, that was really at the start of their Superstation era. More people, we had cable, I think, in as early as 79, and so, but the Braves that year, in 82, started 13-0. Joe Torre was their manager, and they outlasted the Dodgers to win the National League West. And if it wasn't for a rainout in Game 1 of the National League Championship Series, who knows whether the Cardinals would have gone to the World Series that year or not, because the Braves lost Phil Niekro, they were ahead at the time when the rains hit, and at the time games weren't suspended, it was washed out, and the Braves actually ended up being swept by the Cardinals in 3. The Brewers came back against the California Angels in real life to win in 5 games. They dropped the first 2 to the Angels and then took the last 3 in Milwaukee. And the Brewers pushed the Cardinals to Game 7 of the World Series. So JT Dutch, who asked for this game, wanted to know what would happen if the Braves, instead of the Cardinals, had played, and he wants the game in Milwaukee, and by God, we have a DH. Now, we are not going with Phil Niekro on the hill for Atlanta, because every Atlanta stream or recording going back from the 70s after Hank Aaron left to go to Milwaukee features Phil Niekro. So nope, we're going with Rick Mahler for the Braves and Pete Vukovich for Milwaukee. And so that's the setup for you. The Braves and the Brewers, a Milwaukee thing, Schmackel, constipated, whatever it is next, right here on this New Year's Eve. As Retro Sports Network presents a holiday special today from County Stadium in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it is the Atlanta Braves of 1982 and the Milwaukee Brewers, Harvey's Wallbangers of 1982. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Join us tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, for our annual Digital Dice Open House. So if you're interested in that, it'll be on Mr. Gardner's channel or Spotify or Spreaker. That's noon Eastern, 9 Pacific tomorrow, New Year's Day, right here with Digital Dice. So it'll be Pete Vukovich going for the Brewers. Pete in the replay went 12-11, which just kind of goes to show just how silly a win-loss record can be. His earned run average was a half a run better at 282, 29 starts. He threw 214 innings, 193 hits, 110 walks, and 106 strikeouts. And I believe he was the Yankee pitcher in Major League. Vukovich is 29-82, fastball 89, and a ground ball pitcher. How you doing, Jim Brown? Oh, Rick Camp should DH and see if he can hit another home run. I'm out of hats for John Sterling to eat. Here's how the Braves will line up, and we're using the master picture thing. I did not put any 82 pictures just for this game. Claudel Washington is in right for Atlanta. He'll lead off. Rafael Ramirez at short will bat second. Dale Murray is in center. He'll go third. Bob Horner, Jim, is the DH. He will clean up. Chris Chambliss at first will bat fifth. Jerry Royster, kind of 6'2" and even with Horner defensively, at third will bat sixth. Rufiano Linares in left will bat 7th. Old Glenn Mother Hubbard at 2nd will bat 8th. And Bruce Benedict, not a bad catcher in his own right, will bat 9th. And Vukovic can go 135 pitches. So people are voting on whether they think the Braves or the Brewers will win. And 2 people have voted so far. Defensively for the Brewers, I thought Ben Ogilvy was going to be my DH, but he's actually a very good left fielder. He's a 9 and a 7 out there. Gorman Thomas in center before the mustache in this picture is a 7 and a 6. And the Mad Fisherman, Johnny Moore, is a 7 and a 9. He's not the Mad Fisherman. In right field. Around the infield, Paul Molitor is a 7 at third. Robin Yount a 10 at short. Jim Gantner a 6 at second. They're very good at turning the double play, Yount and Gantner. And Cecil Cooper is an 8 at first base. The battery, Ted Simmons and Pete Vukovic. Simmons is a 5 behind the plate, and Vukovic is an 8 on the mound with a .929 fielding percentage. Claudel Washington on the replay. Both teams did not make the playoffs. We'll show you the standings in the 4th inning. Washington hit .264. He slugged 25 homers. We did this replay in 2019, and he drove in exactly 80 runs. And so the weather, 68 degrees, clear skies, not a breath of wind. Ignore that giant stadium they're putting out there in center field. It's 82. It's not there yet. Pitch to Washington is ball 4. Vukovic is going to throw his share of walks, and that's how this one starts. For Rafael Ramirez, and changed the picture. I was about to say, I don't remember him with Oakland. He was always with Atlanta. Hitting .270, 12 homers, and 59 RBI. Midlife crisis, afternoon winter ball. How are you? Vukovic deals. There's a pop-up right side. Cooper by the stands at first, and that will go out of play. And somebody from Kenosha made that catch, and the count is 2-1. Vukovic deals, and that's a ground ball to Cecil Cooper. He'll take it to the bag himself, and Ramirez just kind of stops and bows his head. 1 out for Dale Murphy. Murph, in one of his tremendous years in the mid-'80s, hit .289. He slugged 38 home runs. He had 36 in real life. Drove in 117. Vukovic kind of scared. Horner on deck. 1 out. Washington on second. There's a little looper in the left field. Ogilvy will make the catch. Washington took a wide turn around third and held. So Murph on first, Washington on third for Bob Horner. Bob, in our replay, hit .270, hit .261 in real life. He hit 39 homers and drove in 104. So far, so good. Not Tribe fan. Midlife crisis says. So runners on the corners. The Brewers are winning the poll. They have 60%. That's up the middle. Vukovic goes to Gantner for 1 and Cooper for 2, and Atlanta gets nothing out of it. How about that? So, no runs, a hit, and the Braves strand 1. They went 93 and 69 in our replay. The Brewers, they didn't challenge the Orioles that last week of the season. They went 88 and 74 after half an inning, no score. So again, Rick Mailer is 28 years old. He went 16 and 8 in our replay instead of 9 and 10 in real life. An earned run average of 4. 33 starts. He finished 1 game. 218 in the third innings, 227 hits, 111 runs, 97 earned. He allowed 27 home runs. He walked 56 and struck out 125. Throws a fastball at 87 and is a ground ball pitcher. Can you believe that Vuk won the Cy Young with those numbers? No, he is a double play machine. 82 was a weird year. That's the year that Mark Mosley won the NFL MVP as a kicker. Here's how the Brewers will line up. Paul Molitor at third will lead off. Robin Yount looking like Jeff Spicoli in that picture. Since it is 82 at short, will bat second. Stormin Gorman Thomas in center will go third. Ben Ogilvy cleans up in left. He had 41 home runs for the Brewers in that replay. Cecil Cooper at first will bat fifth. Ted Simmons behind the plate. Ted looks like he drank the bong water in that picture, doesn't it? He's behind the plate going sixth. Don Money is the DH. He'll bat seventh. Charlie Moore and right will bat eighth. Jim Gantner at second goes ninth. And Mailer can throw 115 pitches. So if he's good, he can get you eight. Defensively for Atlanta, Rufiano Linares is a 4 and a 3 in left. Dale Murphy is a 10 and a 4 in center. Claudel Washington a 4 and an 8 in right. Claudel played for everybody, by the way. The infield, Jerry Royster a 3 at third. Rafael Ramirez a 9 and a 10 double play at short. Glenn Hubbard an 8 at second, also good with a double play, a 9, and Chris Chambliss a 7 at first. Let me know if this is how you want the defenses displayed when we do 56 in a couple weeks. The battery, Bruce Benedict, is an 8 behind the plate with a 4-arm, and Mailer is an 8 on the mound with a 982 fielding percentage. So Paul Molitor at 280, 20 homers, and 91 RBI. Harvey's Wallbangers hit a ton of doubles. It was 260-something, I think, in real life. Brewers, again, leading our poll. Pitch to Molitor. That's up the middle, and Murphy won't get it. That's a single. Throws it back in, and Molly is on first. For Robin Yount, Yount at 308, 30 homers and 98 RBI. Let's see what Mailer does. Again, Phil Decro got most of the attention, but Mailer was just kind of a steady number 2 for Atlanta for a long time. And I don't think he ever got the due that he needed. Some of that was the Braves were such a bad team for so long and were on their television every night. But Mailer, I think, was a good team. If he had been on, let's say, a California or a Kansas City or somebody that was contended on an annual basis, that Mailer would be much more highly regarded than he is. Throw to first, and Molitor is back, and now Molly's going to steal. Yount waits. The throw down to Hubbard, and Molitor, they threw him out. They threw him out. Benedict has a 4-arm. It was a strike, and Hubbard threw. It was a good throw and a good tag, so 1 out for Yount. Wasn't he on the 90 Reds? Who are we joking about? Here's the pitch to Yount. There's a ground ball to Ramirez. Rafael throws to Chambliss for the out. John is still in full gloat mode after that World Series. I suppose I can't blame him. Gorman Thomas at 220, 34 homers, and 83 RBI. However, Frank Robinson may be edited for 1956 after that comment. That's up the middle. Ramirez has it. Good throw to Chambliss, and that will retire the side. So Mailer, I think he's talking about Mailer, gets through the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1, no score. So Chambliss, Royster, and Linares. Chambliss, I think I had enough of the Bronx Zoo. He had 279, 15 homers, and 70 RBI. It was a good veteran presence on this young Braves team. At least that's how I remember it. In the right center field, Moore running in the alley will make the catch. 1 out for Jerry Royster. Royster, a longtime Brave, although that picture is him with the Dodgers, hit 273, a triple, and 20 RBI. Vukovic deals. Royster, slow ground ball to Yount. Robin waits. He's a great arm out there. Throws to Cooper. Royster running, and he's out on a bang-banger. What a play by Robin Yount. For Rufiano Linares, he hit .313 in part-time duty for the Braves. 3 homers and 34 RBI. Braves, baby blue uniforms. with Atlanta in a darker blue in a white outline with the letters. And I believe that was the first year they went to the kind of the what you would say now is the Alabama A. They had it for a while and then went to the small A hats. One of the new looks for Ted Turner, and they went to the duds that they have now, I believe in 87. Pitch to Linares. That's up the middle for a base hit. Gantner does not make a good play, and that's a 2-out single. Second hit for Atlanta. There's the small A for Glenn Hubbard. Hubbard at 272. We saw a lot of Glenn in the last year with the 88 Oakland A's. He hit 9 homers and drove in 56. Linares a threat to steal. Vukovich throws to first, and he's back. They'll let him go. That's a throw down to Gantner, and that's a steal. So that's the, well, he stole 5 in real life. So Linares with the swipe a second, a 1-strike count, runner in scoring position for Hubbard. I always liked the small A with the white. I think they wore those in 81. They got away from the pinstripes that marked the beginning of the Ted Turner era. Pitch to Hubbard. There's a pop-up left side. Molitor and Yount converge. And it's Molly, and that will do it. So the Braves leave on a runner. No runs, a hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second here in this what-if one-gamer. It's Atlanta nothing, Milwaukee nothing. You guys still favor the Brewers in the poll. Ogilvy, Cooper, and Simmons to face Mailer here in the second. Ogilvy had a monster year in 2019 for NR replay. He hit 274, so he outdid himself by 30 points. He slugged 41 homers. He had 34 in real life and drove in 106. But yet they were an 88 and 74 team. That's a slow chopper down to Chambliss. Chris reminds him of the time that band camp at Yankee Stadium, and there's 1 out. Cecil Cooper, talk about underrated players. Cecil Cooper, I think, qualifies for that. Hit 300 in the replay. 25 homers and drove in 122. Got him. First strikeout from Mailer. On to Chase. Full count fastball. 2 out for Ted Simmons. Simmons hit 270 for the Brewers. Came over after Darryl Porter went to Kansas City. 25 homers and 62 RBI. There's a ground ball to first. Chambliss has it, takes it to the bag, and that will do. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the third. Atlanta nothing, Milwaukee nothing. It'll be Benedict, Washington, and Ramirez in the third to face Vukovich. Bruce, really a good captain on this team. 276, 7 homers, and 51 RBI. Grounds this one to Gantner over Cooper, 1 out. So the opening 9 for Vukovich. 33 pitches, 2 1/3. 2 hits and a walk. And that walk was Claudell Washington. Of course, as you know, the Braves have quite the history here in Milwaukee. And it would have been a very interesting World Series matchup if it had been Atlanta and Milwaukee. The Braves franchise, pitched to Washington, is a walk, so Claudell draws another. Was destined to move from Milwaukee to Atlanta for the 1965 season. Ramirez is 0 for 1. However, the lease, I think, was through 65, and the court said, nope, you got to stay. So, kind of like the Oakland Athletics this past year, it was a lame duck year for the Braves in Milwaukee. Throw to first, and Washington is back. They will pitch out. Washington goes to throw down to Gantner, and Claudell has the steal. So a 1-ball count. Ramirez at the plate, who's 0 for 1. So you're only talking 16 years after the Braves abandoned Milwaukee. What kind of reaction they would have had if they had played. This would have been a weekend World Series games. Games 3, 4, and 5 were in Milwaukee. What kind of reaction there would have been if the Braves had come back? Because remember, no interleague then. Pitch to Ramirez. There's a fly ball to right. Moore coming in will make the catch. And Claudel goes back to second. Will he go? Nope, he won't. Happy New Year, Big Dave. Here's Dale Murphy. He singled his first time up. Of course, in those intervening years between the Braves leaving town at the stadium and the Brewers becoming, the White Sox toyed with the idea of Milwaukee. They played a handful of games here at County Stadium. And, of course, the Brewers came into existence as the Seattle Pilots in '69 and went to bankruptcy, and Bug Selig bought them and moved them to Milwaukee during spring training in 1970. At some point, Mr. Gardner was going to do that, '69 season for Seattle. Pitch to Murph. There's a line drive down to third. Molitor on a hop throws it to Cooper. Murphy's running, and Dale is out. So Molitor with a great play. Much more of a natural third baseman than a shortstop. And that will retire the Braves. They do not get a hit. They have left on 3. And after 2.5, no score. Happy New Year, Dave Little. How are you? So Money, Moore, and Gantner to face Mailer here in the third. Money to third. Royster has time. And Money's running, but Money's old. Or old Money, and that's an out. For Charlie Moore, Charlie hitting .246, 12 homers, and 61 RBI. So that's kind of the background of the Braves and the Brewers. Pitch to Moore. There's a fly ball, left field. Back goes Linares, and Ruffiano will make the catch, 2 out. For Jim Gantner, hit .288 when we did the replay, 2 homers and 50 RBI. I think by 82, we had gone to Turner time with everything starting at 5 or 35 past the hour. So to see a Braves game come on at the top of the hour was a rare thing. Pitch to Gantner. There's a ground ball to Ramirez. Raphael throws to first, and Gantner is retired. So that'll do it. No runs, no hits, and no errors. After 3, Atlanta nothing, Milwaukee nothing. So Horner, Chambliss, and Royster to face Vukovic. Bob grounded into a double play his first time up. Hopefully you guys will be safe and sound this New Year's Eve. Pitch to Horner. There's a liner to left that will drop in front of Ogilvy. Is Horner going to try it? Nope, that's a single. Third hit for the Braves. And here's Chris Chambliss, who's 0 for 1. Horner, not a threat to steal. Got him. First strikeout for Vukovic. An 0-2 fastball got him looking. So 1 out for Jerry Reister, who's 0 for 1. Got him. Vukovic gets a good morning and a good afternoon. An 0-2 fastball inside. 2 out for Linares. He singled and stole a base. Of course, Milwaukee's primary play-by-play guy has ties to both Atlanta and Milwaukee. The Brewers as an announcer and the Braves as a player. And, of course, that would be one Bob Uecker. Pitch to Linares. Got him! How about that? So Vukovic, after the walk, strikes out the side. No runs. That wasn't a walk run. That was a hit. No errors. The Braves have left on 4. And after 3.5, no score. We did this after the Rickey Henderson tribute game. But since this is a much more of a happy occasion, we'll tell you the standings of how the first replay on the channel that we did 6 years ago. Would you believe that? It doesn't seem possible. Brewers finished 3rd in that replay. The Orioles won the East by 4. Milwaukee at 88 and 74. With Toronto right around 500. And yes, Bob Stanley's 83 season is considered one of the top 1,001 seasons of all time, according to Action PC Baseball. Dave Cook wants to troll me. I know that. In the West, it was the Angels, just like it was in real life, and they won by 10 games over Kansas City, Seattle, and the up-and-coming Chicago White Sox. The Orioles beat the Angels, and I forget how many games. National League, we'll start with the West. The Braves finished in second. They had a good year, but the Dodgers won 107 and had a great year by 14 games. Cincinnati, San Francisco, Houston, and San Diego, kind of like a horse race, finished 48 lengths out. And the East, Montreal, the eventual world champion, a 9-game bulge over the Phillies, 17 over Pittsburgh, then St. Louis, Chicago, and the Mets went 57 and 105. So it'll be the top of the lineup, Molitor, Yount, and Thomas to face Mailer. Mailer opening 9, 37 pitches, 3 innings, a hit, and a strikeout. The hit was Molitor. He singled and was thrown out trying to steal. They play for the bunt. He punches it into center, and that's the second hit. So here's Robin Yount. Robin 0 for 1. You guys aren't very chatty today. Pitch to Yount. Well, throw to first, and Molitor is back. Happy New Year, Matt McClellan. So thank you very much for the kind words. Here's a ground ball to Chambliss. He'll take it to the bag himself. Molitor goes to second, and Yount is retired. 1 away for Gorman Thomas, who's 0 for 1. Got him. Mailer got him on a 1-2 check swing. And there's 2 out for Ogilvy. Mailer in that playoff year for Atlanta went 9 and 10, 205 and a third, 213 hits, just allowed 18 homers, 62 walks, and 105 strikeouts. Ogilvy grounds 1 to first. Chambliss takes it to the bag for the out. But that will do. After 4, no runs, a hit, and no errors. Still got time to vote in the poll. Brewers, 64% of you think are going to win it. Braves and Brewers scoreless. So Mr. Gardner told me what he was doing, and it is a very different stream for Dave. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. It does not involve hot tubs or myself. And we will be with you tomorrow at noon Eastern for a live digital to dice. Hubbard is 0 for 1. There's a ground ball to Yount over to Cooper for the out. 1 away. Andrew! I loathe to ask this because I know who's going to be appearing. Bruce Benedict is 0 for 1. But Andy, since you are a regular of the channel, what do you want to see Thursday at noon for the first stream of 25? It's going to be a Bob Stanley game. I know it. I know it's going to be a Bob Stanley game. Pitch to Benedict. There is a slow ground ball, foul, third base side. Lenny Randall blows it foul, but it was foul anyway. And the count is 2-2. Bruce Benedict is 0 for 1. And then gets hit. Vukovich thought he was facing Charlie Sheen there. So runner on first, 1 out for Claudel Washington. 18 batters deep for Vukovich, 64 pitches, 4 1/3. How about some Nolan Ryan? Well, what would you like to see? 4 1/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, 64 pitches. Washington has walked twice and stole a base. I'd love to give you some Nolan Ryan. There's one up the middle for a base hit. So Benedict will hold at second. Claudel is on at first. 4th hit for the Braves. And that'll bring up Rafael Ramirez. Rafi is 0 for 2. I pick. All right. New York, California, Houston, or Texas? Simmons and Vukovich have a word. Got him! An 0-2 fastball swung on and missed. California. Okay, I'll surprise you. We'll take a look. I'll bring up Dale Murphy. Murph is 1 for 2. Got himself a single. Braves and Brewers scoreless in Milwaukee. Squiggy. Speaking of Milwaukee and Laverne and Shirley, I forget his name. David Landis, after his days of being an actor were over, actually was a baseball scout. Had a huge baseball history. I don't know if he signed, anyone that you would know to associate the two, but was a major baseball fan. Pitched to Murph, and I got away from Simmons on a pass ball, a 1-0 count that just kind of skipped away, and Benedict and Washington move up 90. Dave Gardner, is this the top 1,000 recap show? Oh, God. The fact that Bob Stanley made that. Did you know that? We'll do something with that. But the fact that Bob Stanley made the top 1,001 seasons, it's kind of like, listening to one of those top 100 of the decade shows or a year when we were kids, when Casey Kasem would do that. And you'd wait to see, where your favorite song finished up, and at number 67 was like Weird Al. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Pitch to Murph. There's a fly ball to the left. Ogilvy moving back. You get the commercial, and halfway home on a gorgeous New Year's Eve in Burlington, Atlanta, and Milwaukee are scoreless. I would be stunned if Ryan didn't have. His '87 season was phenomenal. Not the one-loss record, but he should have won a Cy Young. If you had said Houston, I would have done something from '87. But California works for me. Rick Mailer at no score, no runs, 4 hits, no errors for Atlanta. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Milwaukee. Rick Mailer, a 2-hitter through 4. He struck out 2. Vukovic, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And for Dave Gardner, who joined us late, Vukovic from Milwaukee, I believe, was the pitcher for the Yankees in Major League. It'll be Cooper, Simmons, and Money for the Brewers in the 5th. Mailer starts the inning, struck him out. That's 3. A 1-2 fastball, and Cooper goes down again. I would have a hard time believing that one of Ryan's seasons wasn't considered one. I don't know how they broke that down. Ted Simmons is 0 for 1. That's a ground ball to first. Chambliss to the bag for the out. If you put Bob Stanley 1983, Don Money is 0 for 1. Braves have 4 hits and left on 6. Brewers have 2 hits, and they've only left on 1. Mailer deals, and there's a line drive, a ground ball to short. Ramirez a long throw for the out. The chalkboard is kind of doing a good job. It's going to make me learn it all over again. No runs, no hits, no errors. I think Mailer was a pretty good pick. Through 5, Atlanta and Milwaukee are matching bagels. So Bob Horner, Chris Chambliss, and Jerry Royster to face Vukovic here in the 6th. Horner 1 for 2, and singled and grounded into a double play. Popped up left side, out. As it for the out. Chambliss is 0 for 2. He is struck out. There's a liner that will roll in foul, and Cooper tosses it into Topher Grace behind the Brewer dugout. So the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Vukovich deals. There's a base hit left center field. Ogilvie will pick it up, and Chambliss will hold with a single. So 1 out for Royster, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Bit different. I forgot how many. I think the White Sox last night struck out 13, and Roger Craig, I think, piled up 11. Had 24 strikeouts in that Met-Chicago game. Pitch to Royster. Struck him out. That's 5 for Vukovich. Jerry Chase, a 1-2 fastball, I guess. 2 out for Linares, who has singled and stolen a base. He's 1 for 2. Got him! So Vukovich is through 6. How about that? An 0-2 curved. Chased it. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 5.5, it's the Braves nothing. They've left on 7. The Brewers nothing. So more Gantner and Molitor to face Mailer here in the 6th. Charlie is 0 for 1. And despite the fact that we've made the joke for years about this Charlie Moore is not the Mad Fisherman. Strikes out. Mailer got him on an 0-2 off-speed pitch. 1 got him swinging. 1 out for Gantner, who's 0 for 1. You haven't missed much. No score. I probably picked on you some, too. 5 hits for the Braves, 2 hits for the Brewers. And Gantner draws the walk. So here's Molitor. Paul is 2 for 2. Tomorrow at noon Eastern on Dave's channel, the Happy New Year edition of Digital and Ice, where it's an open house that we're doing. And then Thursday, some California Dreaming with Nolan Ryan. Pitch to Molitor. There is a ground ball to first. Chambliss to Ramirez for 1. Back to Chambliss, and it is a 3-6-3 double play. So I forgot to give you Mailer's numbers. We'll do that in the bottom of the 7th. After 6, no score for Glenn Hubbard, who's 0 for 2. There's a ground ball left side for a base hit. So the Braves have timed Vukovich well. They just haven't been able to throw anything together. You're used to it. Only meal in your household for the last 25 years. Get your ration of grief, eh? Bruce Benedict is 0 for 1. I think I threatened after your laughing at me to ruthlessly edit Frank Robinson for 56. Pitch to Benedict is a drop bunt. Cooper's only play is to first. Gantner is there, and Benedict is out on the sacrifice. Hubbard moves to second. Claudel Washington has walked twice, singled, and stolen a base. Vukovich had 100 pitches on the nose. 27 batters, 6 in the third. 6 hits. He has walked 2 and struck out 6. Hopefully, John, you got some time off over the holidays. Pitch to Washington. There is a little number down to third. Molitor got a late jump, and Washington beat it out. Is Hubbard going to third? No. Hubbard thought that was going to be an out, and so he'll hold at second. So first and second, 1 out for Rafael Ramirez, who's 0 for 3. In the right center, back goes Thomas, and Gorman will make the catch. And everybody holds up. For Murph, who's 1 for 3 with a single. Regarding the top 1001, since it's made of single seasons, you can just did they really not add Nolan Ryan? What, you think Nolan's best year? I would think it would be 87. Did they really not include Nolan Ryan? Pitch to Murph. There's a ground ball to third. Molitor across the way to Cooper. And stretch time, no score. Down Thomas and Ogilvy for the Brewers in the 7th. Mailer, 28 batters, 76 pitches, 6 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. 81 for Ryan. His first year in Houston, or second year in Houston, was pretty good too. It's a good video on YouTube of the 3 seasons where you can make a strong case for Ryan to be the Cy Young Award winner, and never did. 87, again, I think they looked at that 1-loss record and went, Braves now had 2 hits. They've left on 9 in the scoreless tie. Pitch to Yount. Gets away from Benedict on strike 3, but the throw to first is in time, 1 out. Gorman Thomas is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. How you doing? I didn't change anything, Andrew, in regards to that. Maybe I put it in the patch this morning. There's been a bunch of them. So you didn't have to hear me sing, take me out to the ball game. Pitch to Thomas. Struck him out. 6 for Mailer. Now a 1-2 off-speed pitch. 2 out for Ogilvy, who was 0 for 2. Didn't expect this one to be a scoreless tie. Into right. Hubbard out. Washington in. Claudel is there. We're through 7. No runs, no hits, no errors. To the 8th we go. Atlanta nothing, Milwaukee nothing. So Horner, Chambliss, and Royster to face Vukovich here in the 8th. Bob 1 for 3. He has singled and grounded into a double play. And no, we're not pinch hitting for Bob Horner. Although the friends and family of Larry Wisenton would like that. It tain't happening, McGee. In the left, back goes Ogilvy, and Ben will make the catch. A leaping catch against the wall. How about that? 1 out. For Chambliss, who is 1 for 3, he has singled and struck out. Braves have 7 hits. Yeah, there have been a lot of patches. And again, thank you to Mark Shaw, who keeps me updated. We'll be using Mark's ballparks for 1956. Base hit, left center field. Chambliss will hold with a single. Chris is now 2 for 4. Jerry Royster 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Raleigh Fingers, who was not available in the playoffs, Pete Ladd, I think, closed for them, right? Is available here. And now we will see the man, the myth, the legend, Larry Wisenton. Larry hit .336, 4 homers and 30 RBI. Chambliss on first. That's up the mound. Yount, Gantner, and they're not going to get the throw to first is late. Brett Butler is there, and I was the idiot that didn't put him in. So he will pinch run. So 2 out, Butler on first. So Wisenton reaches on the fielder's choice, and Brett Butler will run instead. Here's Linares. Ruffiano 1 for 3. A single and a steal. No. We're not pinch hitting. Ground ball to first. Cooper will make the play, and that will do. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Braves get another hit. They've had 8. They've left on 10. They're playing like the Red Sox after 7.5, no score. So what did we do for changes? R. Johnson is at third. And that is not that Randy Johnson. That would be something, though, wouldn't it? We had Frank Thomas playing for the Mets last night and Randy Johnson going for the Braves today. Not that Randy Johnson, although defensively, he's not that much better. It'll be Cooper, Simmons, and Money to face Mailer in the 8th. Cecil has struck out twice. Yeah, I don't know if there was a conflict, Jim, between Butler and the Braves management, there really wasn't much of a place to play Murphy. Murphy, Butler's best position was center. And Dale was a good defender. Pitch to Cooper. There's a ground ball to Chambliss. Takes it to first for the out. 1 away. Mailer again has thrown a 2-hitter. Simmons is 0 for 2. Ground ball to Hubbard. Over to Chambliss. And that's an error. Simmons is going to reach. So Chambliss has to go fish it out. Hubbard with the error. Was that a low throw? Or Keith Olbermann's mom is involved, of course, because she just comes to all of my streams and gets hit in the head on the throw by Hubbard that goes into the seats. So Simmons is on second. 1 out for Don Money. We got other catchers. So Marshall Edwards will pinch run. There's no outfielder, and I had heard it was between those two when they kept the other guy. That was a long time ago. So Edwards on second. Money, ground ball to short. Ramirez throws to Chambliss, and Money is retired. So Edwards will hold 2 out for Charlie Moore, who's 0 for 2. There's a base hit into left center field. Edwards will round third and score. And the Brewers are going to prove about 57% of you right, at least for the moment. We go to they take a 1-0 lead with 2 out in the 8th. So that'll bring up Gantner, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. So Mailer, no thanks to his offense, is on the wrong end of a 1-0 game, despite the fact the Braves have left on 10. To short, Ramirez to Hubbard, and that'll do it. We go to the 9th. Brewers get a run on a hit and an error. And so after 8, it's Milwaukee 1, Atlanta 0. Steve Zabel was 1 for 1 in extra points with the Patriots in 76. I'm telling you, I'm rooting for John Smith. So Ned Yost will come in to catch. And we'll go with, Raleigh Fingers to close this one out. Now, he was hurt. He did not appear for the Brewers in the playoffs, and you kind of have to wonder, and he was the Cy Young and MVP in 1981, whether or not that would have made a difference for the Brewers in that series. Before he went down on injury, he was 10-9 in the replay, 5-6 in real life. 19 saves. He blew his fair share. 79 2/3, 75 hits, 32 runs, 31 earned. He walked 27 and struck out 78. His last outing was September 2nd. So the Brewers lost him at a key time of the season. But yet, they went on to beat Baltimore the last weekend of the season to win the division. Hubbard, Benedict, and Washington do up for the Braves. Glenn 1 for 3. His error led to the run of the 8th. There's a ground ball to Cooper. 1 out. So Braves need 1 to tie and 2 to go ahead. Benedict is 0 for 1. Struck him out. So last chance saloon for the Braves here is Claudell Washington, who has walked twice and singled twice. So everybody up 1-0 here. Milwaukee about to win the ballgame. So Finger shakes his head, gets the count from Ned Yost, and deals. There's a ground ball to Cooper. Fingers will make the grab, and the Brewers have beaten the Braves 1-0. Dave thought last night's stream was quick. This one's going to be over really quick. 2 hours and 24 minutes, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for Milwaukee. They left on 2. Atlanta, no runs, 8 hits, an error, and they left on 10. So Vukovich gets the win, 8 scoreless innings, 8 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts, and fingers the clean 9th to pick up the save. Poor Rick Mailer. 8 innings of 3-hit ball. He doesn't give up an earned run. He walked 1 and struck out 6 and takes the L. We're going to give Paul Molitor, who went 2 for 3, the Digital Dice MVP. Now, I want to go before we leave and take a look at this. No. Okay. Busters. Free agents. Can I? There is no Nolan Ryan. There's a BJ Ryan. That just seems... How? How do you not have a Nolan Ryan season? I mean, if you're going to include Bob Stanley, who did that all out of the pen, 145 innings, but not include Nolan Ryan? Yeah, I don't get that at all. Anyway, what would be Nolan Ryan's best season? Like I said, either 81 or 87. All right, so Andrew picks a Nolan Ryan game. We'll fix that wagon. I want you all to be safe and happy and healthy and all that on this New Year's Eve. Dave and I will see you on Dave's channel at noon tomorrow Eastern Time to wish you all a Happy New Year. And then we will have a random Nolan Ryan game from the 70s at noon on Thursday. And until then, may you have a wonderful New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And we will see you tomorrow on Dave's channel. Now, Dave's about to do a crazy project. Look for that in a moment. But that will do it for me. Thank you for all you do for me all year round, and we're a couple weeks away from starting 1956. So the next requested game goes to Andrew, and he picked a Nolan Ryan one. We'll see you Thursday for our first stream of 25. Until then, Happy New Year. Thank you so much.